What's up, y'all? Welcome to How To Mondays on Gratified Grad, where it's my goal to help you graduate with gratification. Today's video is going to be about how to not burn out. And I'm going to give you 3 simple things. Well, I call them simple, they may not be that simple, but 3 tips that you could follow starting today to make sure that you don't step into burnout. The first tip is have a plan. And so when you have a plan, what does that mean, right? Does that mean that you have, a daily schedule? Does that mean that you have a calendar on like maybe a Google Calendar, or we use Microsoft Office here at Penn State? Do you schedule things in your calendar, or do you just write things down? I use a mixture of writing things down as well as scheduling things in a calendar, because I don't like to schedule my personal things in a calendar, but when it comes to Penn State things, I'll schedule that stuff in a calendar. And so I have a cutoff time at the end of the day. For me, 10 o'clock. Sometimes 9 o'clock, but most of the time 10 o'clock is my cutoff time. And after 10 o'clock, I am getting into bed, showering and getting into bed. So having a plan, knowing what time you need to be winding down and getting in the bed, and also keeping in mind, like, what time do you need to get up? So the time that you need to get up kind of dictates the time that you need to go to sleep. You can learn your circadian rhythm, and you can learn what time is good for you to go to sleep so that you can wake up naturally and feeling refreshed. I can do an entire separate video on how you can figure out what your rhythm is. But for now, we're just going to stick to these 3 tips on how to not burn out. So have a plan, a work plan, a home plan. But the really important things to know on this plan is what time are you going to wake up and what time are you going to get ready to go to bed. The second thing is create boundaries so that you can actually execute the plan. So it's really important that you actually follow through with your plan. And I know things happen, things come up, and it is so easy to just get off track and remain off track for the rest of the day. But I would say that doesn't have to happen. Sure, things happen and you are off track. Maybe you're an hour or 2 behind or something like that. But I am always an advocate of reclaiming your time. So let's say you get to a meeting late. Does that mean that you have to go to your next meeting late? No. You get to a meeting late, you can send a follow-up email to whoever organized the meeting and ask, what information did I miss in the beginning of the meeting. But that doesn't mean that you have to stay later on that meeting that you came in late, which would then spiral and cause you to be later for your next thing. So creating the boundaries, and I have a video about time and how you can stay on time with things and get the most out of time. I will link that video here. Yeah, recapping on that, staying with time and having boundaries and respecting your time so that you can actually stick with the plan. Because if you can't stick with the plan, I don't know what to tell you. You kind of have to have a little bit of discipline here. And the last thing is be kind to yourself regardless of if you actually hit that, mark of going to bed at, for example, like me, I try to go to bed at 10 o'clock every night. 10:30, and get ready for bed at 10 o'clock every night. But you be kind to yourself regardless of if you actually stay on track or if you get off track. That's the important thing, because if you're not kind to yourself, then it gets into this spiral of you're making yourself feel guilty because, oh, I didn't do this and now I have to feel bad about it. No, not at all. Acknowledge it. Okay, today's plan didn't work for me. You can even reflect and say, okay, where did I get off track? And why wasn't I able to get back on track? And sometimes the answer to that is today was just a day. Does that mean that you have to give up? Does that mean that, oh, you'll never get it right? No, not at all. Tomorrow is a new day. The goal here is to not experience burnout. We're at the beginning of the semester, and right now everything feels like I have the energy. You're running off adrenaline, you're excited. But that might slow down as we continue on into the semester. So it's really important that you create boundaries around your time, that you have a plan, and that you are kind to yourself, regardless of if you stick to that plan to the T or not, because you are human, you make mistakes, and you are still capable. Hopefully, this is another tool that you can add to your toolbox that will help you graduate with gratification. Bye.